consistently common ground for them. They have been in that semi so many times, grand finalists in the last ESL Impact, rounds away from lifting the trophy, the first that could have dethroned Imperial. They look to try and do that this time around. Supernova Comets, for most of their players, their first time here on land, but it's on home soil in Dallas. And they've already hit the ground running. Let's see. Going to be a T-side start for Furia. And I think that's part of this veto decision that probably came into it. They did get us the highest seed, the last decision. So they get the T-side start. Supernova Comets decided the map. I don't expect another 11-1/2, but hey, if it's anything as effective as the T-side we saw versus DMS, then Supernova Comets are really going to have to bring their A-game.
Yeah, and this is where I get worried, especially on that CT side, because, yeah, Supernova Comets went 8-4 coming up in their first game, but this is different. This is Furia that is going to be accelerating. We've already heard it from the Death, already heard it from Hanker. Early conditioning, early fight for Empathy, but not finding anything, but at least seeing bizinha drop down into Con.
Yes, the classic drop down, and it's the double setup to deal with this, but first parts removed, no trade available. bizinha finds that first kill. Empathy rotates over, but it was never the full drop. They kept players present in middle. They're going to root through now. Empathy comes back, spots the bomb, and she's slung on by 3. So now it's a free run into this A bomb site. bizinha is holding back the rotates, and this is looking flawless.
Played it brilliantly. I love this because you're so often expecting a drop-down mid-play to be accommodated by a fast B split. And instead, they just reset themselves. You don't want to give over these kills, though, especially to Forks. Bomb's now gone down. Would have to be the ace.
Yeah, it would be pretty phenomenal, especially as they know exactly where Forks is coming from. P2K in hand.
It's the flank as well.
Oh, there is a flank and a flash, so that's going to delay things further. No kids, so yeah, very difficult in Furia. Showing composure, not going to overpeak this, and Gabs will swing off that contact at the half wall. So just those 2 casualties in the end. Furia starts strong.
Yeah, I came into this thinking, look, Supernova Comets, their structure is going to be good, but I think Furia, after that scare against DMS, after it's 11-1 on your T side, and then you nearly let it slip the whole way, they will not want that in this BO1. They're going to keep going. They're going to make sure that everything is meticulously crafted, especially in mid-rounds. I think this could be quite quick, I'm going to be honest.
Okay, that's a bold claim. I'm curious. I was so caught off guard by how good they looked against the Ants, who I thought are a really strong side. Granted, that was with some players going a little absent that have been superstars before. We've got a stack here. Empathy is being a bit of a nuisance, and we have a whole squad on the plat, but they're getting mopped up. I like the stack. That's a fun one. I think the creativity points for that, but unfortunately that does not result in any actual real-life points, which is much what your childhood can be like sometimes.
Yeah, creativity doesn't earn rounds. And it was the Doom view model for Raven, and that was pretty foreshadowing of what happened in that round. No kills collected for Supernova Comets. A really heavy buy, like not investing in Mac 10s as well for Furia, which I think is really cool. They've just gone, you know what, we don't care. We're just going to have all the AKs, we're going to have all the Galils.
Yeah, 2 Galils and 4 players that head armor, so it's a heavy investment into the rivalry here for Supernova Comets. In fact, it's Forks of all players is actually on the FAMAS. And bizinha's just spammed up Empathy. Yeah, trying to get aggro just all by her lonesome through the window. I don't know if there was a flash to try and set that up, but Furia go into a slow default to start the first gun round, and they're ready for that peak.
And this is the issue, right? And this is what we saw all Anubis, to be honest, between both Furia in their game and also Supernova Comets in theirs. And it was, you go aggressive in the wrong parts of the map. This is a good reaction here to take B main, but mid is just wide open. So for Furia, it's one of these where, what's the reaction? Where either comes through B main and we've got no one there, or it comes through middle. We haven't had anything towards middle. We got the kill in towards A. They have to push B. This is really good mid-rounding from Furia.
Yeah, it's only Forks here and so isolated because this push hasn't continued. It's only one player that's pushed onwards. So there will be some reinforcements for Forks, but it's probably going to come a little too late, and it's going to be 5 Furia players bearing down her doors. Here comes the execute in. Flames at both sides. Smoke blocking off everything. There is the potential for a swing out through that camera smoke. Fawkes is maybe calling for that possibility as Smoke dribbled forward and Fawkes activates. Good first kill. Spots out another. Gabs has been brought low. Definitely still on as that HE comes over. Gets the trade back. Fawkes has doubled down. Putting it to the 3-on-3. Fawkes has found another. It's all Fawkes coming up. Raven falls. The 2-on-2. There's Kit in Fawkes' back pocket and still a player playing close. I don't know if they're aware of bizinha's position, but it will be cleared and it has to be every kill for Fawkes. The FAMAS not quite connecting almost, but not the weapon for the job. So Furia will stave off Fawkes.
I'll tell you what, Furia, their mid-round is really good. They've got a really good understanding of what's going to happen. They get the punish pick on MV pushing towards mid. They get in towards A, and then they try their best to lose that round. They should never be going in that way. It should never be that close. And it's one of those where you get caught off guard at the first instance, but then you keep swinging and you keep swinging. It just feels so redundant. They eventually lock in for that 2v3 disadvantage in towards the after plant. But it's those sort of mistakes that you need to get out of your system now because they will not fly later on in the competition.
It's always interesting to me with the A site takes us to whether T's decide to push through to heaven or not. In that round, Furia decided a more, I guess, tepid approach to taking the bomb site where they just get the bomb down, they isolate the angle so they can secure that plant, but they don't want to scale further.
Well, they never got any contact. And if you get no contact after you drop your utility in at camera, in at heaven, that means they are probably more than likely in heaven. So you do not need to fight it.
Okay.
Going in towards the stairs is so risky there because all it takes is a quick crunch on from camera.
Flash out. Flash is great, but the weaponry for the job is looking for this kill. We'll run down Raven. Fawkes is still playing around the edge here, and a couple of players are low. The P250 comes out, and almost another massive multi. Fawkes has definitely retained form from that first matchup, but, well, avert your eyes from the rest of the scoreboard if you're a fan of Supernova Comets. Okay. A little bit of something back, at least another player gets on the board.
I'll tell you what, that was a bit scary there as well because the 1D looked like it was good, and if it was, that last player of Furia was very low HP. So a couple of rounds, a little bit touch and go, but ultimately Furia are overwhelming. They are playing against the odds, 4-0. AWP out for Car, AWP out for Fawkes. Considering Fawkes has been doing their best work just on the AWP, on the rifles. It'll be interesting to see this sniper head-to-head.
There's a spawn for Dark. Oh, Car's on the outside there, and it's an off-angle peek. Oh, did she see?
No.
No, okay, so Car will step forward.
Can't see that.
No. Almost the flick up. What a standoff. Well, at least you get information on both sides.
I'll tell you what, I think this is the early conditioning that Hanka was talking about because in both games, again, mid was so open. So here you put the AWP over there, you then drop the util, you then go in towards A main. Mid is so open. Look at how good this is from Lulatens and bizinha.
Yeah, now you've got Empathy on an island who is low from the earlier engagement. Gonna fight forward, but will be dealt out by bizinha. Lovely little swing with the HE to follow through. The bomb can to scale in, and you've completely circumvented this AWP.
Yeah, fantastic. And again, you're playing a bit more disciplined here. You're not really worried about taking this heaven space. You're more worried about the safety in numbers, 4v3. And Car is going around the world in towards mid. Bomb planted at the corner of the fishtail. bizinha to take the first contact.
They're going for this, so resmoke on Cam, it's all in from heaven.
And where's so quiet? You might be ready for this retake.
Oh, good line though from bizinha. First kill's free. Fawkes is continuing to scale forward, but they're not giving an inch. And with nothing offered up, the 2v4, you got to scramble out of there. Littleton's already looking to chase. Can she remove this AWP? She does. And looking for more as well. Might just hunt down every single weapon. Brutal for Supernova Comets.
And look at how much they've learned in those last 2 rounds. Really nice. And this is exactly the afterplant that Furia wanted to implement a few rounds ago. Same position, jump up on towards the top of the stairs, tucked in the corner by the half wall. And the reason why you can do that a lot more freely this time is because you came through camera. And because you came through camera, you can clear out heaven when you're scaling towards the safe site, which means the afterplants are a lot more locked in. 5-0, AWP does nothing. In fact, it just remains in the spawn. and it can't be reinvested.
Good to see bizinha having a great start. She was the highest rated player of all of South America last season. Brandon, across 14 maps, her average rating,
Yep.
1.52.
It's pretty good.
Lulaten's 1.44.
It's better than Donk.
Gab's 1.39. Car 1.30. And Izza, a really disappointing 1.28.
That's so horrible.
Danny is the only non-Furia player that's kind of broken through into that top 5.
Sorry for that, Furia. No flashbangs again for Supernova Comets, so you can't go into something a little bit faster. In the next gun round, I want to see the B main control or the A main control being taken a little bit quicker. We're sort of like venturing onto that 130, 125 mark where you should be looking to take that space if you hear nothing. And I love that Furia are leaving nothing to chance in rounds like this. Everything guided by util. Everyone on the same page. Good collection on the MP9. Will give over an AK, and Empathy is here with the Dig.
Yeah, but bizinha isolates the fight. Empathy's Dig does connect. Can't get the follow through, though. It's now bomb to be planted. And it is just this Dig for Fork. Serendipity does have MP9, and that's going to be it. Sidebar. Very cool, Nick. Serendipity. And Empathy. Like, what a combo. And unfortunately, both fall. And so Furia doing to Supernova Comets what they did to DMS only a few hours ago.
This looks better than the T side against DMS, if I'm being completely transparent, because it feels like you've got everything aligned when it comes to macro and micro here for Furia. All the correct decisions are being made when it comes to the game sense point of view. Everything's being made correctly when it comes to the afterplants as well for the majority of these rounds. It's been really just fantastic to watch. And if this is the gameplay we get out of Furia, this is why the desk is speaking so highly of them. Missed shot in towards mid for the AWP. At least Forks is allowed the luxury of living.
Yeah, looking for that opener, desperately trying to get an advantage for Supernova Comets, who have been on the back foot throughout. Feels like this really is Furia dictating the pace the entire half.
This is really cool as well because they dropped the deep A main smoke. They also dropped one outside B because they're waiting for this reaction. They have to give a reaction, and Furia are controlling all of the tempo of the round.
Carl gets that reaction. Serendipity flashed back in a second time. Carl's just holding for that exact play. Is playing a disgusting off angle if Raven does decide to swing out. Flash thrown forward. But you definitely don't want to peek this. A lot of eyes on that prize. It's going to be a B split. There are 2 players here. Empathy's pushed out. This timing is actually phenomenal. Could not have been better. And we'll get the backstab onto Izza.
That'll change plans as well for Gabs, because she now moves in towards middle. bizinha gets rid of STX, and now Raven tucked in the corner. Presumably would be unaware, but bizinha just flicks her. Left, right, good night. The AWP has to go save on the beaches once more.
bizinha. So sorry. Oh.
Jeez.
Oh.
It's day one.
I might just leave.
Yeah. Do it. I'll solo cast her around. That's fine.
Yeah, I feel like Fox is being nullified, tries to go for that opening fight, and as soon as that's missed, just doesn't really have another opportunity. And, oh, okay, maybe get a bit of a showcase of mechanics, but no, Lilitans will put it down, and the flawless streak continues.
Love the coach's body language there. Just the elation of it doesn't actually matter how many players we lose to that AWP. The important thing is they don't have the AWP. And up until Empathy pushes, which is a really good mid-round reaction from Supernova Comets, I'd actually argue that play from Furia, the way they orchestrated that round, that is the best round of Counter-Strike we've seen on day one.
High praise. But deservedly so, and Supernova Comets in that flux of buy, half buy, half buy. And the Flames could not have been more perfect. You can see they really wanted to get aggro, and it's Gabs instead that puts the aggression on, and yeah, a little shot into the back of her teammate's head, but takes down 2 on the way in. It looks so simple, doesn't it? Empathy will try and burst through, but they're already ahead of the util.
See you in the semis, Furia.
Yeah.
It's just so brilliant, and I will keep glazing them because look, here's the reaction. You've gone out B main, you've seen nothing. If you're Supernova Comets, you tried to fight in towards water, it hasn't worked out. You've had car on the line, you've had a rifle on the line, continuously applying pressure and pressure and pressure. This round, Furia don't drop the deep A main lurk smoke. They allow Supernova Comets to think, oh, we've got a bit of space here. This is different. Yeah, it's all by design. It's to bait you into that trap. 2 quick kills. You take over the A bomb site. 5 alive again. How many times have Furia had 5 alive?
Yeah, they're loaded. Even with expending players on hunts, it's not been too costly. Now, you do have to put that little asterisk. Just their CT half was, well, it was a combination of not being particularly great. You know, Hank, I think, did a really good breakdown on just how static it felt at times.
Yep.
It just wasn't that kind of info gathering, and GMS were able to play with those rotations so much. And, you know, I think that if Supernova Comets can recover, I mean, at this point, 3 rounds, they can still be competitive in this second half, just purely off the virtue that Furia's CT half looked dire earlier.
I don't think... The thing is, though, again, I'm going to use Hanker's logic, so I can then counter you with Hanker's logic.
God, I'm being out-hankered.
You're being out-hankered. She said, in between best of ones, we take a look back, we don't change too much, but we try and rectify the mistakes. So it's quite clear, if you're the coach and, you know, we all watched it, we saw that Furia's defense was static. So, okay, what do we do? Okay, we're just going to be a little bit more confident. We're going to take some more fights.
Be that fast car, as Newt liked to illustrate.
I feel like Furia really sort of gave a lot of respect over to DMS when they didn't need to.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Averona demands respect.
True, fine.
An attempt for some aggression in A main, but it falls back.
So here, what you should be doing, because you've now dropped these nades, you've acted as a bit of a counter. Empathy and Forks maybe should have re-aggressed in towards middle. Because you've got this lean over towards B based on what info? You have no info to rotate the AWP here.
Xenia feels like she's got a good position too. She's done
does.
Sentry throw past, and so she knows that she's got a good spot and she can just hang here. It doesn't really matter where the round ends. She's in a power position no matter what.
Tell you what, fair play, I just commented the fact, okay, why you brought the AWP over, but it looks like currently the round is ending towards this B site. So finally, Supernova Comets have got the right pieces in the right places.
Is 3 pieces enough? That's the question. A double up in Dark, and it is only 1 player there at the moment. There is going to be this final rotation from Gabs.
Oh, they're going to go really late here. Brilliant from bizinha. And that probably should force a rotate. Yeah, the push through in towards Con. And Izza just tucked on the corner. Not even needed. Brilliant reaction out of Furia. Punishing Supernova Comets. Forks gets a leg shot. Can she find any more? No. It's done.
Yeah, I mean, you have all the pieces here, but what's 5 pawns against 1 queen, you know? Furia just fragging them out the server.
What's really cool is they do this extra little bit of util. And what it does is it enables all this mid space. Remember, Empathy never pushed. And we spoke about 40 seconds ago, if Empathy and Forks had gone together in towards mid, if they'd gone for a contact play, cleared it out, used the AWP for long range, use Empathy to get these close corners, suddenly Fury don't have this space, which means they can't actively fake A. And because you've never pushed B main, you've never pushed Con, you've never pushed A main, and Furia know that because, hey, guess what? They're holding the entire time. You can just anchor these players on the bomb site. You can force a reaction. The fact the mid player goes as the lurk turns it into an entry is phenomenal.
Yeah, when you're playing in the dark like that, where you don't know kind of what site is more reinforced, Xenia having that brilliant timing. She's 14-1.
Yeah.
She wins that round off that 1 kill. I mean, well, maybe not wins it, but definitely causes the domino effect.
Take it one step further. Supernova Comets have 14 kills as a team, and bizinha is 14.
Oh, no!
Bazinga.
Well, Supernova Comets going out with a big bang. That's a double-layered joke. For all you comedy enjoyers out there.
We're here for the next few days. Sorry. We built the pyramids. Hopefully there's some more clay. That's a James Bardoff shout out.
Yeah, and we're on Anubis, Brandon. There's so many layers.
Not in this round, but at least Supernova Comets have made the right decision to push B main. Now they'll get a jump on the fact that Furia end in A, but it's against the full exec. And you've got limited weaponry and util.
The players are here. That's the key thing. Empathy can rotate in towards middle. You got this fast push through from STX as well. And Forks hit the deck. Gabs is double entried and she's triple entried. So all the players are there and every single one has Gab's bullet through them. And now you've heard that spam in through camera, so you know exactly where the final two are as well. The FAMAS and M4 sounding off through that choke point. Fury have a chokehold on this game.
I didn't think the level 1 half could get better, could be improved on, but maybe it can.
Can you imagine? Furia.
Oh. It's a shame because Supernova Comets, they've actually made the right reads in a lot of situations where it comes to not being static and trying to take the map control. The thing is, they've done that when they're on the worst buys. How about we do it when we're on the guns? How about we do it when it matters a lot more? And you're playing because you feel a lot more reckless because there's only MP9s, there's only pistols, doesn't matter if we die. You feel a lot more valuable in the stock that you have in towards the AWP, which has been limited, in towards the M4s, which come few and far between. You've got to make the most of it.
Here we go. We've got flashbangs to set up an aggressive mid play. Empathy is going to get this fight because bizinha is really close by, although it will dial back immediately. MP9 slings out, and well, that's about the outcome you expect. The Flames force Raven forward. Militants punishes that aggression in middle. bizinha is on cleanup duty in middle.
Gosh.
Yeah, well, we are going to get another 11-1 half, and it might
get worse.
It might get worse.
I'll tell you what happens here, because again, look, we've got different conflicting ideas. Because in one breath, I've said it's really good that you need to sort of be static. You need to not be static in CT side Anubis. And you're like, okay, Brandon, well, look, 3 players have pushed mid. You then got the con swing, you got the B main swing. That's the issue. Because if you're pushing mid, if your team is communicating, we're pushing mid as 3, the players need to live on the site. Because the minute you give over a 1v2, a 2vx, it's just redundant. It's redundant you pushing 3 in towards mid because you've lost your extremity player. So all these ideas are conflicting. All these ideas are now getting jumbled up because you're 11-0 down. And remember, this best of 1 could put you in a semi-final. The pressure is building. The pressure is getting too much for Supernova Comets.
An implosion, isn't it? Some aggression has come out over towards the B bomb site, but it's off the back of a whole bunch of utility.
But again, look at mid again.
Yeah, there's full space being taken by bizinha, and
you're even holding for it out of Lula tent.
There was maybe a chance there for the multi. Okay, has found one on the lurk, a flashback through, and signs of life. bizinha will get taken down by Forks, and it's Car, who has not had to do anything this half whatsoever. And she will need to find 4. Supernova Comets, they want this round so badly. You can't get 13-0'd. They're not going to let it happen. They give Khan the respect, the space, but not the fights. With 30 seconds left, there's just no opportunity. You may as well kind of do as much damage as possible, given you've not got any monetary issues.
Well, it's last round anyway.
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go. That seals it. 11-1, Furia go back-to-back on their T sides.
Street lights turned on hours ago. You've been here 3 nights in a row. I feel like
Well, if I had $1 for every time Fury got an 11-1.5 on the T side of Anubis, I'd have $2, which obviously Brandon isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice in back-to-back games.
They love their Anubis. Supernova Comets remind you they got 8 rounds in their first best of 1 on the CT side of Anubis. And that got compounded down to 1, which isn't ideal. Fox and Raven look to maintain contact over at B main. Meanwhile, there's a push for Furia, a triple setup. And Izza has now spotted that it's going to be a B crunch. Rotates need to be on the way here for Furia.
Yeah, they're kind of just sitting over in A. They're not pushing out, they're just chilling. So they're relying a lot. Oh, that timing. Oh dear. Smoke lands down. They'll fall back. So they've allowed the space in towards Dark. And now the swing comes out. Lulitins will be removed. And Izza can't connect the shots. So player advantage. Now that fast bank comes through. The dual Berettas put down. Empathy hits that headshot. Bizinha doesn't reveal herself. Now there's 3 players on the other side that she has to deal with. And she is swung on. So pistol for Supernova Comets.
Don't do this again, Furia. Don't do it again. I'd love an eco here. Just get the guns out as soon as possible. Maybe feeling a little bit of what happened to you against DMS in the back of your mind as well. That was, I think, just insane timing. I think the jiggle from Izza didn't actually spot anything in towards water. She falls back, then here's the util. Not as clean as Furia would have hoped for, but for Supernova Comets, it's a little bit of a sigh of relief. And now an extra little bonus is that Furia will be ecoing.
Yeah, you had to save face a little bit. And DMS did a great job of saving face earlier. 13-10, when you look back on that, if you just look at the face value, feels very respectable. What can Supernova Comets build up on their T side? They're playing this so safe. And
Yeah,
you were too.
Yeah. So if I'm Raven, I just go into a bomb site. You've got the MAC-10, you're the most expendable. No offense, it's just because you're upward on the MAC-10. Like, you go in, you go, oh, it's a stack, or, oh, it's not a stack.
Yeah, they're actually doing that with Serendipity over an A, so they will get that information, and I'm surprised they're still facing here, but
maybe they'll just fight.
yeah, I don't think it really matters at this point. Anyway, you've got the better weaponry, you do lose 1, but 1 is good, because it means Raven can pick that up. And even better if she finds this kill into Bizinha, who... Oh, well, not the MAC-10 frag, but only 1 casualty. Rifle not recovered, and it's no biggie.
All right, come on then, Furia. Let's see what you got. Let's see if Hanker's advice is going to resonate with them. Be a little bit more mobile on this CT side, not allowing Supernova Comets to have sort of any essence of control in the mid-round. Let's see a bit more out of Car, because look, she wasn't needed, but we miss her. We still want her to do something.
Yeah. It's there's just so many aggressive riflers that were just winning every duel that she just wasn't needed. She's decided to get aggressive. Oh, there is a charges on ahead of her. So immediately on the outset, Furia go for a very aggressive play. But look at this creep and crawl. They're going to split through the smoke. Flashbang comes through from the CTs. Half-Line's Car, but she'll still find that kill. And then Izza comes out as well. And Car's pushed through behind them. So she'll walk back into the smoke eventually. This feels doomed as the bomb gets denied. It's Forks alone, and then Car does come back through that smoke. So first gun round comes through for Furia. They find that point.
What a brilliant round out of Furia. Because again, look what they're doing. Double pushing towards Con. You got the flashbang support out of A, and all the contact comes through the players in water. And yeah, they get all the advanced info. They say, do you know what? It's not going to be this hit. They walk over. They hear the lurk smoke. The best counter to that lurk smoke is just smoking off B main yourself, because you get so lost in all what's going on. And you can see really good counter util, not only the smoke but also the flash. Furia were there just in time.
Yeah, really nice to see such a proactive play out their very first gun round as well. Already can see those, well, appears to be the ramifications of that loss earlier. Being a lot more proactive with this substantial lead they have. And our 9 chances to close. Fox has gone all in on the AWP. feeling that pressure to deliver. 15 kills for Forks, so certainly just finding all those kills, but not quite having that second player kind of beside her that was present in the first opening match.
Yeah, just any of them as well. Like we looked at Empty as a reliable source of that, but only with 7 kills. SDX and Raven, Serendipity all been struggling as well. Gabs takes a forward position outside A, and I don't think they're going to be ready for this. The swing on from Carr goes 1 for 1, and now Gabs is set up, but Serendipity is still looking at Rugs.
No one's actually on A though. This is slightly concerning, and yeah, Furia want to fight forward. Empathy gets that kill into the low HP bizinha. And yeah, Gabs is in a great position to catch off Serendipity, but oh, they're actually not committing into A. Gab's position suddenly becomes a whole lot more interesting. Or maybe it doesn't, because they're not going to cross paths. She might catch out Serendipity.
Serendipity's aware of it, like looking for it just in case. How far do you extend? Do you clear this close angle? It feels like she will. Meanwhile, Furia have now gutted out A. Overlooked is Gabs, a 3v3, and all the info known.
While the Gabs sits there for like a minute and gets that kill eventually. Patience rewarded. Bomb to go down though. Forks in the post-line with the AWP. Good post-line positionings as well.
Gabs is the only one with util, and now that's been removed. So you have 1 smoke, and that's it. 1 player in Lulatens.
It's a bit odd, wasn't it? It was just all very disjointed. Lulatens set to clutch and had a chance there, but Empathy with a quick headshot down long range keeps them still chugging along. Yeah, I'm surprised Gabs just decides to go up through Dark there. It really felt like she could have just waited a little while for her teammates to arrive.
Yeah, before going, because I agree she has to be the first point of contact. Obviously, she's the known entity after Serendipity spots her out by the stairs. But you can't go immediately. You need to wait for your team. So now an eco, Carr can be set up for an AWP. Gabs can loan her that for the next round. And for Supernova Comets, it's again about sparing blushes and not getting eco'd.
Yeah, just a stack in the middle. That's going to move back as there's no early aggression. They're going to relocate towards the A bomb site. This is a fun one because you can layer so easily without needing to get on anyone's heads. You get this fun little conga line of players. SDX is going to be in for maybe a little bit of a rude awakening. Slowly edges forward and come on, peek this corner, get the info. There it is. 1 kill and now you just go into B.
Yeah, I mean you can save the Galil. You can maybe just even use the Galil to get even more exits. Furia are hunting pretty proactively. The more damage they can do, the easier it will be to close the game. Nice shot out of that Galil. bizinha just keeps on firing. Nearly a free KD for her. So Supernova Comets will get that 5th round. And now the question for Furia is, how's your nerve? Because you've been in this position before.
Love to recover this AK that's right there in the entrance. Keep Supernova Comets as humble as possible. Yeah, that AK scooped up. And Luton's on some spam. I think Empathy was still... Actually, maybe we won't get away.
It's fine.
Okay, it does. All good. So yeah, AK and Galil recovered. That'll keep the money flowing.
Yep, and remember, Gabs is going to drop the AWP over as well. So it's going to be a pretty comprehensive buy here for Furia. The one thing you don't want to give this Supernova Comets team is momentum. Obviously, never allowed it in that first half. But in the game that they played against, I want to keep saying Prototype Blaze, but it's not, it's Xerath. They had momentum and they rode with it. And that's what was able to get them over the finish line at the very end. This team is a very confidence-based team. And sure, 1 mistake is all it will take. As Dua Lipa once said.
And we often reflect upon the words of our Lady and Saviour.
We do.
Mid looking to be The first destination for Supernova Comets. They creep forward, and Sentry will be disruptive, forces them forward. Bizinha's heard this and goes for the swing out. And, well, if she had anything but the Galil, might have found success. Her teammate goes down by her side as the AWP nullified. Gabs steps in, looking to try and get something back, but Empathy's had around. 2 big kills in towards middle, and the acceleration into the A-bomb site.
Save. If you're Lula 10s, if you're Izza, don't go for this. It's not worth it. You really need to keep your money in check. And what I really love there is the anticipation for Supernova Comets. They're ready for that third player. They're ready for that re-aggression of Furia. It's their playstyle, was what we've been talking about on the desk all day long. Get out of there, play for exits. There is no need to throw all these weapons in the bin.
Especially because they did manage to save over a couple last rounds, so Bizinha's still got some money there, and yeah, Furia, they need to thank their lucky stars today that their T-sides are so damn good.
I mean, this round's really interesting because you had a really good molly set up by Bizinha, and it acts as an early warning. And then it's fight or flight that kicks in for her. She's obviously going to fight. She's 21-9, but hasn't got the support. So there you go. Another one-on-one isolated kill. You then have the support trying to swing in from mid, but again, it's a little bit late. Another isolated kill.
Yeah, Car was kind of there at camera, had a really good line to try and support her, but she got deleted by Empathy. She has the AWP in her hands, and Empathy removes her. So not how that AWP wanted to roll. Now, I mentioned Forks on 15 kills. Actually hasn't got any more since then, but Supernova Comets have still managed to rack 2 rounds since.
Yeah, Empathy's caught up.
Empathy is catching up.
And what a difference a couple of saves makes. Look at this, Carl reacquainted with the AWP. The save-in riflers can drop over because of all their loss bonus. This has to be it now for Furia, though, because otherwise we're starting to raise our eyebrows. We're starting to ask a lot of questions if this goes any deeper than 13-6.
Fox is hunting, and good HE. 2, in fact, thrown out onto different players and doing almost the same damage. Burst through by Gabs. Doesn't even dispense with her smoke. Just hold on that as long as possible. Supernova Comets go through a bit more of a default into this round.
Better out of Furia. Because again, you're feeling the pressure. The timing that Gabs drops her smoke A main, as you mentioned, held it for a few more seconds to get the info out of B main. And now a third player that was on B is now moving to mid.
And Lutons can just jiggle for the information. So now they have a good read. This is going to be the A finish, but they actually only have 2 players on the site itself. Bizinha's rotate position is deep in CT, so she'll get nullified by this smoke. Has to move around.
They haven't really got much block utility either. Gabs has just picked up another smoke, so she can drop it, but throws it at camera rather than at A main.
Yeah, okay, that might actually help out though. A break on it and a burst through attempted. Gabs disengages and the swing comes through. Bizinha delivers, and this is done. In a blink of an eye, everyone has fallen, and it's just Fork standing. Car will put her down. And Furia, it's Bizinha leading the big bang. And for Supernova Comets, they go out with a little bit of a whimper.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Furia straight through to the semi-final. How good is that decision? Rather than A main, put the smoke in camera. It gives your AWP a wider sight line, and it obviously nullifies that split. They're ahead of it.